Do y'all remember that meme where there was like this? It's like three panels that says never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, and it'll be something quirky and funny and random. Like at the third panel, like never ask the cashier, is it free when they're trying to scan a barcode that doesn't work anymore. Today, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about a situation that happened in Manchester where a woman by the name of Joanne Dodd, or Dobb, I think it's Dodd, who has avoided jail time after she was at a bar and a man guessed her age wrong. She felt offended. She was also intoxicated, which didn't help things, which resulted in her taking a wine glass and bashing him across the face with it, which resulted in a 4-inch laceration across his face. So this woman, again, they were at a bar with her sister. They were having a talk with like a gentleman or a pair of gentlemen, if you will. They were, I guess, playing like a guessing game. They're like, oh, guess our age, guess our age. Joanne is 39, or at least she was 39 at the time. This took place last year in September. And the man, guessed her age wrong. He said that she was, I think, like 42 or 43 years old. Not a huge margin, but missed it by a couple of years. And she felt offended by that. She even threatened him and saying, I'm going to glass you, according to the article, in which we're going to break down shortly. And, the man, realizing that this was getting real crazy right now, he decided to retreat and head to the bathroom, hoping things will cool down. The sister and, Joanne went to the main bar, to talk a little bit and everything. But then when the gentleman that they just previously spoke to that guessed the age wrong left the bathroom, Joanne caught him line of sight, just locked onto him, and proceeds to charge at him with a wine glass and bashed him across the head or across the face with the wine glass, which resulted in a 4-inch wound that just barely misses his eye. We're going to head on over to the article, because it's not the crime that she's being excused for or she's missing jail time for is what pisses me off. It's more so how the judge went about it and what the judge said. We're going to get to that right now. So the article starts off with a drunk businesswoman who glassed a pub drinker after he wrongly guessed her age has been spared jail after a female judge said one person's banter may be insulting to others. The mother of one, Joanne Dodd, 39, flew into a rage and attacked Carl Cooper after he suggested she was 43 in a beer garden of the Unicorn Pub in Manchester City Centre on September 9th of last year. Mr. Cooper fled to the toilet in a bid to get away from the heated situation, but when he came out, Dawn ran towards him and twice shoved her wine glass to his face. He was left with a 4-inch laceration to his face, narrowly missing his eye, and an injury to his thumb. When quizzed, Dodd, who runs a firm which organizes children's sleepover parties, said she was suffering from low self-esteem at the time and said the banter was disobliging towards her. Now, I don't know what bantering is over there or exactly what it is to some degree. Like, I know different countries have different meanings depending on the word that they use. When I hear bantering, I don't mean to impose American politics or American English politics here. When I hear bantering, I just think, oh, it's just playful chatter back and forth. You're probably busting each other's chops, nothing too crazy and everything like that. Despite that, I don't think that is a reason to say, I am going to take this wine glass and I'm going to beat you upside the head with it. I don't think that justifies that. Especially something that came down to age. Like, I don't think age is the craziest insult you could tell someone. Not to mention, like, it was like, what? No more than like 5 years? Like, are you serious? It's like, damn, bro, that's a bad... Let me say this. He should have never said 43. He should have just said oh, maybe 30, a little something like that. But I guess this man was just being a bit too honest with his guess, and she took it to offense. But even then, I don't think bantering equals violence here. And this is where I'm kind of getting a little bit pissed off that the judge just saw it as oh, when people banter, you're going to get a wine glass shoved in at your face. You're going to get a laceration. What are you going to do? It's so dumb to me. So it says here originally she was supposed to face up to 3 years in jail under sentencing guidelines after she admitted inflicting grievous bodily harm. So I guess they're implying that she pleaded guilty. I'm not sure how the court system works in the UK, but I'm assuming she admitted guilt to that. However, she was spared jail and handed a suspended sentence after Judge Elizabeth Nichols said she was a dedicated, hard-working woman who posed no risk to the public. Before I go on to read this whole, transcript from what the judge said, I'm just gonna say this. I think the whole idea that she painted her as this dedicated, hardworking woman who poses no risk to the public is bullshit. I'm just gonna say that. This woman was intoxicated. She was offended. Yeah, sure. She didn't react by just hitting him with the glass. Okay, whatever. But I think the biggest concern here is that she had the opportunity to disengage and try to separate herself from that situation as well. The man left the conversation knowing he was getting a little bit frisky, or a little bit heated, if we will, went to the bathroom, hoping things will cool down. He retreated from the situation. After this woman says, I'm going to glass you for guessing my age wrong. From the time that he went to the bathroom to retreat from the conversation, to the time that he got out the bathroom, Joanne really had a wine glass in hand and thought to herself, when this man gets out the bathroom, I am going to take this wine glass and I'm going to hit him with it. It almost sounds like premeditation to me. That's not something that she did out of impulse after he said, 43, bam. I don't think she did that. She didn't do that. She literally contemplated and says, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm really going to hit him. I cannot imagine drinking and premeditating a violent act and then being told that, yeah, what you did was just out of character. You was just intoxicated. But anyways, let me just not rant over here. Let's just get to the judge, because now this is really what got under my skin here. So the judge had a lot of things to say about Dodd, so we're going to start it off by saying it is obvious that you have been drinking heavily, and there was undoubtedly some verbal exchange between you and the other group. You did not appreciate the comments made by Mr. Cooper, and one person's banter may be insulting to other people, but that did not justify what you then went on to do. Of course it doesn't justify it, so I don't understand why you're giving her the benefit of the doubt here. I don't get it. She really could have killed this person. If she was to take the wine glass and hit him at the neck, she would have cut this man's throat. She would have possibly cut the man's jugular. I don't understand why we're talking about banter. Bantering should not result in violence. You seem to be approaching him, throwing your drink over him, and then striking him deliberately in the face with the glass that you had. Your conduct was incomprehensible. The only explanation that can really be put forward is that you were under the influence of drink, which does you no credit. It was no doubt traumatic for Mr. Cooper, and it would have been an impact on him. Fortunately, he seems to have made good recovery. Gee whiz, I sure hope he made good recovery, but I think that's irrelevant here. It is traumatic. I mean, hopefully Mr. Cooper is okay for the most part. I'm not going to take the judge's word for it, because it's not like the judge could relate to how Mr. Cooper is feeling. But anyways, I have seen the photo where the scar is barely noticeable, but to him, it will be a constant reminder of your conduct on that night. There was a very unpleasant injury. It is a grave injury, but fortunately, there is no permanent disfigurement. I don't understand how you can say that it was a grave injury, but then at the same time say, yeah, we're just gonna, let you go. I really don't understand that. It makes no sense to me. Under the same sun, you said, yeah, you can avoid jail time. It's okay. You are a person of good character. But yeah, that injury was pretty grave. You could have potentially, killed this dude. I'm not understanding that. The judge added, "There's no mitigation about the circumstances of of the offense itself, but there is mitigation in relation to you. You are a woman with no previous convictions. You have never been in a court of law before, and you have positive good character. It is accepted that you are a dedicated, hardworking woman and undoubtedly a loving mother. It is right that you were remorseful from the beginning of the event at the police station. There is no doubt that this offense is so serious that it crosses the custody threshold. The issue whether the sentence is immediate or can be suspended. There can be no doubt in this case that you are of no risk to the public and that this offense was entirely out of character. And I suspect that having been so shaken by your own conduct that the court will never see you again. Perhaps more importantly, you are a mother of a young child. Although no doubt the child would be taken care of, an immediate term of imprisonment would have a devastating effect on your child. It would be disproportionate to the sentence that needs to be imposed." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think that having a child has anything to do with this. Again, you are a person that committed a crime. We're talking about the crime here. We're not talking about, oh, well, if we were to throw you in jail for a year, this would have a serious impact on your daughter or your kids. She inflicted bodily harm on somebody under intoxication at that. I don't care, even if this woman was fully conscious. That's irrelevant. The fact is, she should be held accountable for the fact that she contemplated. First of all, she threatened him. She contemplated attacking him. She doubled down by charging at him, pouring the drink over him, and slashing him with the wine glass. I think twice is what they said in the article. She really doubled down on what she wanted to do. And you're still giving her this, oh, well, that was all out of character. We know you're a really good woman. You would never do something like that. That is just bullshit. That is horseshit to me. So after that whole speech by the judge Elizabeth, she was sentenced to 12 months in prison, but those 12 months has been suspended. I believe she's also supposed to face 180 hours of unpaid work, and she's also paying, Mr. Cooper 800 pounds, I believe, 800 pounds to, for as compensation, which I think is a very light sentence. I think we're really underestimating how much damage a glass could do. I don't care if Joanne Dodd, has a combination of low self-esteem. She's a mother of one child. Her father passed away recently. She's drunk at that particular moment or at that event at the bar. I don't care if she's a businesswoman and has no offense or no criminal record. I just feel that a lot of these things is just glossing over the fact that she committed grave bodily harm to someone. She was drunk, who used a weapon, which was a wine glass, and premeditatedly attacked somebody with that wine glass that could have resulted in much worse injuries. It barely missed his eye. I've said this before. It's glass. If you took a beer bottle and you bash somebody upside the head with it, that glass breaks, right? But those glass, the bar that you're holding or like the neck that you're holding, turns to a legit weapon. It has shards, sharp edges at that. You can literally just cut someone deep. If it hits someone's neck, you can hit their jugular, and that person could just bleed out and die on the spot, on the scene. It is absolutely crazy that this judge is just seeing it as like, oh, I mean, you're fine, you was in your feelings, you was offended, hey, sometimes you banter with people and you want to bash them upside the head with a wine glass. It happens. He seems to be recovering fine. Just pay him $800. You're on a suspended sentence, but let me tell you something, Missy. If I hear one word out of you, you're going to the gulag. I just find that to be complete bullshit. I swear to God, a lot of this just makes no sense. We need to focus on the crime, not her character. You took a weapon and you hit someone with it. That in itself is not excusable. It's not. You keep saying it's incomprehensible. It was a grave injury. It was, it barely missed his eye. He could have gone blind on one eye. What are you going to say? Like, oh, like, you're kind of lucky that it didn't hit his eye. Because if it hit his eye, ooh, that would have been tough, Missy. You would have, ooh, I don't know what I could have done there. But you're lucky, so I'm going to let you go. But just be on your best behavior for like the next 12 months and you should be fine. I think that's just complete bullshit to me. It's fucking wild. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about this because I just saw this across social media, or I just came across this on social media, and I thought that this whole situation was just crazy. And yeah, that's basically it. Base.